And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Last week, we traveled to Austin. One of the panels we attended there at a convention focused exclusively on the mistreatment and common misconceptions of transgender people. Factor producer Sonora Harris spoke with Serena Daniera of the Transgender Law Center and Ava Rain, a journalist and actress.
I think some of the biggest problems that we've been seeing when it comes to anti-trans violence is people have a huge tendency of trying to place blame on trans people, whether that is, them trying to assess how we, adorn ourselves, how we name ourselves. I think there's a lot of people who take moments of trans violence to push their own personal anti-trans rhetoric that oftentimes has nothing to do with the violence that has actually occurred.
This happens countless times where there's this idea that trans women are here trying to trick people, trick men, whatever the case might be, and it's just not true. And I think similarly, there's other notions that trans people are mentally ill, or that we're trying to groom children, or that we're predators, and that just is not the case.
Tonight, we're expanding the conversation with a member of Houston's transgender community, Barbie Braxton. So some of the points that they brought up, would you consider all of those accurate when we're talking about misconceptions of those who are in your community, trying to trick people, grooming children, just the list goes on and on, what we heard there. Do you guys feel like that's something you have to deal with?
Of course, we have to deal with that every day. From them thinking that, first off, they think we hate women and we're trying to replace women, and that's not the case. They do think that we're perverts and we're not this, and we shouldn't be around children. They think we're trying to trick men. They think we're trying to, just like she said, if anything happened to us, they choose really not to focus on the crime. They choose to focus on, well, maybe she tricked him, or, maybe she called it on herself. If she wouldn't have done this to him, then, this and this and this and that, but that's not the case.
And when you hear people talk like that about your transgender, we know a lot of comedians focus on transgender. Do you think that makes it even worse, or what?
It does, because they don't see us as people. They don't take us serious. They see us like as a joke, like we're inhuman, like we don't have feelings, we don't have family, like we don't have people that care about us. So they go on and on and on, and it's hurtful.
When you walk into a room, are you conscientious or thinking about what other people may be saying, or have you moved past that at this point in your life? And how long have you been living as transgender?
I'm past that point of caring what anybody think about me. I walk in the room with my head held high. I've been transgender all my life, since I was born. It's a mental thing. And then as I got older, I was able to do the physical transformation, but I've always been a woman.
Is there anything you can put out there, or your community can put out there, that would make the public better understand, or it takes time? And has there been more acceptance in the LGBTQ community except for you guys, transgender?
Yes.
Or do you feel like that?
Well, I always say separate the T from the LGBT community, because we're so different from everything else. But, I mean, we're different, and when people put a light on us, I would just say, just take your time. Instead of prejudging, get to know someone. Instead of just your preconceived notion of what you see on TV, that's acting, that's extra, and all this and this and this and that. I walk down the street, people don't know, but then they get to know me, and they be like, oh, you cool, and then they so happen to find out. They be like, oh, I never knew, that, people like you could be so cool, or that y'all actually act like that, or y'all looked a certain way. They expect us to look a certain way, act a certain way, handle situations certain ways.
And what about under the umbrella of LGBTQ+? Do you find discrimination within that group?
Of course. Of course, like I said, we're so different. Like, it's hard to explain, like, to the average person. Like, if you don't have, like, trans experience, or it still kind of would be hard for you to understand, but we do get discriminated against for being black trans women. We get discriminated against from white trans women, other races of trans women. So it's like we're at the bottom of the barrel, you know, especially in the community. Gay men turn and, you know, they figure out, you know, we trans, they talk about us and roll their eyes, and, you know, they still...
You can't win nowhere.
No, but I'm a winner, and I'm going to always win.
All right. Well, we appreciate you sharing your story
I appreciate
and your honest feelings here on The Factor. We appreciate you.